TF2 has a long history of updates. The game cannot be compared with its released version. There are so many differences and new features added since TF2's launch in 2007. Some updates were so big that they changed the landscape of the game completely. Others were rather smaller, with more quality of life changes. But what was the best new thing of each update?
Mr. Dispenser!
Hello everyone, Mr. Spencer here. Today we take a look at the best new features and things every update in TF2 added. For this we go in chronological order listed on the TF2 website, with some extra additions for modern TF2, and pick one thing that is the best in each update. We only look at additions inside of the game, no trailer or lore drops, otherwise we would be here forever. Everything is obviously my opinion, so it's a subjective video. Don't get angry about it, but let me know your pick down in the comments below. Also, one thing before we start for good, my Discord. Come and join a welcoming community, get notifications when I go live on Twitch or upload a new video. Link is down below. Alright, the first update we look at is obviously the Gold Rush update. This first major update came out 6 months after the launch of the base game. This is still a rather small update, adding 1 map and 3 new weapons to the game. Even though this update introduced payload, it is in form of the map Gold Rush that I really do not like. My pick for this update therefore is the loadout system. Now TF2 players had a choice of what weapon to use, which opened up a whole new playstyle in the future of the game. But yeah, it's still a rather small update, so let's move over to the Pyro update of June 2008. This update added, similar to the Gold Rush update, weapons for one specific class, this time the Pyro. The best thing in this update was the introduction of map tools for the community to create their own maps, one staple that modern TF2 still has. So yeah, it helped the longevity of the game immensely. Now the community got the chance to further expand the TF2 world in their own way, which is simply awesome. So yeah, that's why it's my pick for this update. Let's move over to the mystical Heavy update. This patch is again quite similar to the early TF2 updates. 3 weapons for a class, this time Heavy, 1 community and 1 Valve made map, a new game mode, namely Arena, and a trailer video. For this update I chose Badwater Basin, the Valve created map. It is to this day one of the most popular maps and plays very well. I love Badwater, so my pick goes there. With the Scout update, we are still in the first period of TF2 updates. This one is again a bit smaller than the Heavy update, with a focus on maps and weapons. 3 new weapons, 3 new maps, and some major tweaks for the class. This pick was rather hard to choose, to be honest, because this update in the grand scheme is not really that important. But to pick one thing, I'll take the Force and Nature. The weapon is iconic in the community and also feels like a big joke in the lore part of the game. But yeah, again, mostly a rather smaller update. Let's move over to a big one, Sniper vs Spy in May of 2009. This update is the biggest update TF2 has ever seen this far. 6 new weapons, a new game mode, and one more thing, my pick, cosmetics. No, not just one head, cosmetics as a whole. This changed TF2 forever. Now it wasn't a shooter anymore, now it was a war themed head simulator. Heads and fashion were now in focus. Such a great style, and my pick for Sniper vs Spy. Next up, the classes update. We got so many new additions here too. Great things like auto reload, inspection of items by teammates, backpack improvements like drag and drop, and like so many quality of life changes and new cosmetics. But one thing outshines them all, the new game mode, namely King of the Hill. My second favorite game mode in TF2. And the first map was Viaduct, which is one of the best ones too. Team Fortress 2's first Halloween update was monumental for the game. This is still one of the 3 events we get every year in this game. And I must really say, for a first Halloween update, it delivers surprisingly little for the game. Outside of the game itself, there is the introduction of Zephaniah, but inside there is just Harvest and Halloween Harvest and 2 cosmetics. One of these is the Gibbous, and it's naturally my pick because honestly it's the most iconic cosmetic in the game. But yeah, the update is rather small with not much in it. Ooh, what a rush! The War update! This one must have felt like great. An all-out war, demo versus soldier, exciting comics, a propaganda contest, more weapons and maps, with one winner and my pick, the soldier with the gunboats. This item created a new subclass for soldier, the roamer. But this pick was kinda close because in this update they also added the shield, therefore creating the demo knight, which is also very unique. Also, the update page is kinda hard to navigate, but there's just so much stuff in and outside of the game, and I simply love it. The 119th update is a total meme. No idea why this number gets a special treatment, because there's not really that much in the update. Some weapon rebalances and the addition of mercenary badges that show how long you have played the game. My pick obviously goes to the later one, because it's always nice to see different badges, and at last it's also pretty iconic. Moving on to the mag update. Again, not too much going on. If you say I will pick the mag accessibility, you are wrong. It doesn't even work anymore. No, I think the best new feature of the update is the addition of the training mode. That doesn't work properly anymore. Well, next up, the engineer update. This is a glorious update. Look at these NG weapons, look at the golden wrench, look at these maps, and look at my pick, the map Upward. Possibly the best TF2 map out there and my choice for the best new addition from the engineer update. It was a hard choice, but Upward is just too iconic. The economy update brought a new way to obtaining items in the game, even if it's not a really cheap and good version anymore. But it also added a lot of new weapons and cosmetics. As cheap as it sounds, honestly, I would pick unusual effects. They are rare, expensive, cool looking, and something very special. A wonderful pick for a bigger update than I thought. Also, honorable mention, the rocket jumper. It's a cool weapon. The truly first ever Scream Fortress update is, again, larger than I thought. The first ever boss, a cool reskin of Mountain Lab, very nice loot and Halloween cosmetics. A really good seasonal update. My pick for this one is the sticky jumper. Great movability and the cool secondary alternative. Jumping a few months ahead, Australian Christmas, the first ever Smissmas. This update introduced medieval mode, which is a very nice niche game mode. New weapons, new cosmetics, that's standard stuff. But there's one utility, one item that changed TF2, the backpack expander. Now all the new items can be placed into your backpack with greater quantities. I use this item a lot, very solid pick. What to say about the headless update? This one basically are just some weapon tweaks and quality of life improvements, so I cannot really pick too much here. My choice is the change for the flare gun, now always dealing crits on burning enemies, creating the flare combo Pyro. Again, it's a very small update, kinda like the next one. Replay doesn't work anymore. So my pick? Director's Vision, the first ever taunt. I guess there isn't much more to pick here, so yay! Oh boy, the Uber update's next. There's obviously no other pick, but let's talk about the update first. Weapons for almost every class, new maps, taunts, and so much more. Truly the biggest update for TF2, maybe ever. But yeah, let's go back to my pick for this update. Obviously the jump to the free-to-play model. I'm still under the impression that without it, TF2 would have been dead for a long time. It was important that a constant influx of new players was coming. The game lives from new players, new people that bring new impressions to the game. So yeah, the jump to the free-to-play model is my pick for this update. Anniversary was a rather smaller update again. There isn't really too much new things in here, one map, a few items, cosmetics and weapons. My pick has to be the High 5 taunt. It's iconic and fun and still one of my favorite taunts in the game. The third Scream Fortress brought us Monoculus, a neat boss, probably even my favorite one. Still, in my opinion, Halloween sets were the true highlight of this update, especially Soldier and Engie stand out very much. We are now in the middle of the TF2 glory times. Australian Christmas of 2011 brought us the Foundry pack with achievements, festive weapons, normal weapons, cosmetics and a lot of items created by the Vita workshop. One such thing changed my life. The most legendary weapon ever. The Pumpsen baby, best pick ever! No more further questions please. Pyromania has a few highs and a few lows, and a lot of mech content in my humble opinion. Special delivery never really took off. The cosmetics are mostly kinda underwhelming. The Pyroland was a great idea, but never really followed up, and the weapons are also mostly rather niche. The best and most iconic new addition must be the Pyrovision goggles. Even though the Pyrovision was never really followed up, they are so well known in the TF2 community and are one of the 3 classic free-to-play items. So yeah, my pick goes to the laughing goggles. Oh dang, the next highlight, it's MVM time. The best new addition is Man vs Machine. It's a game mode themed in the MVM update. Do you know my pick? It's MVM. The game mode is so replayable, it's fun, unique and pushed the game to new heights. But legendary status, it gets later on. The 4th Scream Fortress has added probably the worst Scream Fortress boss ever. Not because it's bad in quality, no, Erasmus just shows up all the time. But we do not look at the worst pick, we look at the best. So yeah, Voodoo Souls are great, but my pick has to be Halloween spells. Unique ways to customize your weapons with so much cool variations. Such a cool tool item, which sadly was discontinued. Somebody should make a video about that. Another great addition was the Mecha update. For some reason it always had a special place in my heart. I didn't even play TF2 back then, and it's not even that big of an update, but it feels special. New cosmetics like the iconic Mercs muffler and even more festive weapons were added. But also the NG Demo Medic got some recognizable new unique weapons. For my pick, I choose the Rescue Ranger. Maybe it's my bias, but NG's Rescue Ranger just changed his game completely. It's a powerful defense defining tool, and the model also looks very nice. Really like it. Robotic Boogaloo was the first entirely community created update, like so many modern TF2 updates. Anyway, as I was about to say, this update showed Valve that they could simply exploit the community and they would still get a lot of money. I don't have a source for this, but man, community updates for some reason have a bad aftertaste in today's context. Don't get me wrong, I like this update. I think it's cute, but you know, I just feel a bit salty about it. Why did it work back then, but not today? The best thing added this update was the battery canteens. This looks very nice and feels very unique. Moving on. Scream Fortress never fails to deliver in the golden age of TF2. A nice reskin of Hightower with a lot of passion and a lot of spells. New unusuals, new tool items and new cosmetics. But if we take a look at the heads, there's one group of cosmetics sticking out, the bird heads. The voice lines are iconic.
This is Soldier, by the way. I have an eagle head right now.
The model looks awesome and they are hella cute. I and many love these bird heads. They are simply amazing. 2 cities transformed MVM from great to amazing. Now killing robots actually made sense and gave you something to strive for. Not only the Australians were introduced, but also killstreak trackers. New game mode changing upgrades for medic, soldier and scout, and also snake water was added. But after all that, I think I have to choose Australians. They're great, something like rare and shiny. They look awesome and are a more pricey reward than bot killers. Smissmas 2013 is a rather smaller update. Some festive reskins for weapons, some new cosmetics and some balance changes. And my pick comes from the latter, the new function of the soda popper. Now the scout could create hype to get many jumps. It's crazy and kinda stupidly overpowered, still to this day, but gosh darn if it ain't fun. Love and War changed TF2 in another way. Not only will I never teleport bread ever again, no, new iconic cosmetics, taunt unusuals, weapons, taunts, and my pick, the conga. How could I not choose this? It's so iconic and probably the best dance taunt in the game. What a cool update. Scream Fortress 6, aka 2014. It really has a cool and iconic new reskin of special delivery. Erasmus yells at you. That's very nice. This update ain't too big though, but it has some cool cosmetics. My pick has to be the introduction of bumper cards. And also Carnival of Carnage might be my favorite Valve Scream Fortress map. End of the line is strange. People were overhyped after the short. And that hype the community members couldn't live up to. And therefore the update was kinda trashed a lot, even though it was never meant to be this massive update. Looking back, the short is awesome, don't get me wrong, I love it very much. The cosmetics are solid and the taunt is funny. But yeah, my favorite pick for this update is the Duck Journal. It's a funny cosmetic, has some funny sounds, nothing more, nothing less. Smissmas 2014 is another great update. Not gonna lie, I almost feel bad for this pick here. Let me explain. 3 great weapons, a new experimental game mode, Man power, festive weapons, balance changes, cosmetics, and one head, my head. The Kanagas come over. Of course I had to pick this one, it's my favorite, my edition of this update. Oh boy, we get into territory where I started to play the game. My first ever update, Gunmetal. And to be honest, it's a very great one. Weapon skins that create another way to customize your weapons. Cool heads, a Valve created map and 3 community ones, and also 3 amazing taunts. My pick was very close, but I have to go with the balance changes in this update. Gunmetal has so many good weapon tweaks that gave a lot of weapons the balance they needed, but also class changes. My favorite one has to be the Pretty Boy's pocket pistol that could now heal the player, but I also want to give a huge shout out to the new ability for Engineer to switch freely between ranches and all the buildings not being destroyed from it. Well, except if you use the gunslinger with a normal sentry, of course. This update was great and I love it very much for what it is. Invasion was next, and honestly these maps are still so special to me. I played so many hours on these. The cosmetics were also great and the burst chester was very special too. My pick for this update has to be the reskins though. All 4 of these are so cool, man. I love them so much. But yeah, it especially helps that 2 out of the 4 were for NG though. Scream Fortress 7 already? Interesting. Soul contracts, new maps and a few nice cosmetics. I don't really know what to pick though. I guess I will choose the Mirrors missions, seeing that these are the things we still have to this day. So yeah, Mirrors missions. Winter 2015, or also the Tough Break update, is still so iconic to me. Something feels nostalgic with this one, even though it's just Gunmetal 2. This update added some really nice maps and taunts and skins. But my favorite pick has to be the Festive Visor. Now weapons can be festive with lights. Before this update, the only holiday themed weapons were either the festive versions or some exclusive weapons. Now there is another great customization included in the game. Oh, Tough Break, I miss you. Oh, and summer 2016, I was so hyped for you too. I was checking the forum almost every day. So much hype and such a letdown. Even though the Meet Your Match update was so controversial, I feel like it did a lot for TF2's future. In a good way. We all miss quick play obviously, but honestly maybe it's more nostalgia than facts. I don't want to go too deep on this statement here because maybe I make a video about it, but my pick for this update is the new casual format. It made casual TF2 way more accessible and helped the game a lot. Obviously after some tweaks to it though. Still, in a sense I cannot seem to get over the fact that this update might have killed Valve's passion for TF2. They went all out and kinda fell hard. Scream Fortress 2016, more or less the same as 2015. Best new addition, the revival of player destruction. Honorable mention, the Victory Lap taunt. Smissmas 2016 finally added festivized weapons. Before you can only use it on skins. Now almost every weapon got the option to be festivized in the base form. Jungle Inferno, everyone! Woo! What an update! SFM short, warpaints, new weapons, maps, contractor, taunts, cosmetics, warpaints. Again, warpaints. Warpaints is my pick. I really think that warpaints were the best addition here. They gave the player so much more freedom. Before that, skins were only made for specific weapons. Now you choose the weapon. A great addition. And I love it. All in all, what is there to say about Jungle Inferno? It was probably the biggest update we ever got for TF2, and it was the last big update we ever got for TF2. Scream Fortress 9 came out 6 days after the launch of Jungle Inferno. Halloween packages are my pick here. Blue Moon was a competitive and casual fix we needed. Maps were alphabetically ordered. Now you can actually queue while playing, also search multiple types at the same time. This was a huge quality of life change. It also fixed competitive and their badges. One of the greatest updates that many players overlook too easily. Look, the great era of updates for TF2 is now over. There are gonna be a lot smaller updates from now on, at least for Smissmas and Scream Fortress. I will not be able to say too much about them, so this is gonna be a bit quicker from now on. I will also skip most of the summer packs and Smissmas ones, because they just added cosmetics and taunts and unusuals. I won't be saying which cosmetic was the best. That's kinda stupid to do and would drag the video way longer than it should be. So yeah, there's gonna be a bit more of a lightning round at the end. Scream Fortress 10 added warpaints, maps, unusuals and cosmetics. My pick for this one is Cursed Cove, great map and great theme. For Scream Fortress 2019, it must be the map Laughter. For Scream Fortress 2020, Hustle Castle and Bloodwater, both cool Halloween themed reskins. Smissmas 2020 though, oh boy, I love this update too. It reintroduced all year round casual maps again. My pick this update is easily the payload map Pyro. A great map, and I love that they added it into the normal casual rotation. Scream Fortress 2021, Better Speak and Miami Rooster. All the bird heads are now concluded. Smissmas 2021, I think I'll pick Altitude. Love the map design and the theme, looks gorgeous. Scream Fortress 2022 was another Scream Fortress. Crasher is my obvious pick here. This map has so much passion in it and it has a great idea. Love it. Smissmas 2022 was technically the first ever V-script update for TF2, but obviously there weren't any game modes yet. That would come in the next summer update. For this update I'll pick the Russian rub-down Taunt, otherwise Hoovy would kill me. Wow. Here we are, summer 2023, the summer update. An update we were all hyped about, an update that kinda delivered and kinda did not. Grill was great, maps were mostly great, but my pick obviously falls onto Versus Saxon Hale game mode, our first V-script community game mode. I know it existed before it was official, but as I said, now it is official. So yeah, Australia wins. I love how Scream Fortress 2023 is not even shown in the update section on the TF2 wiki. Well, new maps, cosmetics, taunts, unusuals and a new game mode. I'll pick the game mode again. Zombie survival was insanely fun. And now the last update while writing this script, Smissmas 2023. Again, it's more of a content pack than an update, but I'll have to pick Krampus for this one. I like the map. The boss was very well made and the map oozes with passion. So that's my last pick. These were all the updates I felt mentioning. A smaller start, a great middle point and a weird ending. Hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe and join my Discord. Last thing to say now is, Mr. Spencer out. Bye bye. Oh, and at last, thanks to SeekNoTech for the level 3 membership.